You're listening to Let's Talk Sports podcast with me, Lucia. NFL, NBA news, and more coming to you right now. Hi, and welcome to this week's episode of Let's Talk Sports podcast with me, Lucia. So the rundown this week. Last week's major storylines. This week in sports history, news, and the NBA play-in games. So last week's major storylines. Stephon Diggs gets his contract extension with the Bills, which leads to the whole when a wide receiver is going to get paid. And I am a huge proponent for players getting paid. We've got this whole thing with the Yankees and not paying Judge enough. And it's weird because people are saying that the whole Aaron Judge thing, I'll get into that in a later episode, but I want to do a deep dive into psychology of people and the whole Aaron Judge thing and the whole players getting paid mentality thing. So probably during the off-season, during the basketball off-season, I will go into a deep dive on that. But yeah, and the Stephon Diggs contract extension with the Bills also leads into our second main topic in the NFL, that Deebo Samuel has unfollowed the 49ers and anything to do with the 49ers, has taken posts off of his Instagram with all of this 49ers stuff. And is this a new way that athletes start to tell their organizations that they're unhappy? This whole passive aggressiveness of unfollowing and then refollowing and archiving and unarchiving, all this type of stuff. To be honest with you, I only found out that you can archive posts when the whole Kyler Murray situation came out. That is when I found out that you could archive posts. But wow, this is a new normal that we're going to have to get used to, is the fact that we're going to have players voice their frustrations through social media. And I think that's going to lead to a lot more openness about how we talk about players getting paid. And I know that this doesn't really sound like what I would normally say, but over the past couple of weeks, I've been gradually listening to, especially because I listen to a lot of New York radio, about how people are perceiving what's going on with Aaron Judge, and I'm just I have a new perspective on how players should be getting treated. And I know that sounds weird coming from me, but I am now becoming more pro-player over pro-owner, even though I love my team, but I don't like the owners of certain teams. I love my owners of my teams, but I don't love all the owners, because I think they're all a bunch of I don't know. I'll get into a huge thing about it in the upcoming weeks. I'm going to spend a little bit of time each day leading up to it, doing my research and all that type of stuff. So that will be a special episode that'll come out instead of a weekly podcast. Bruce Arians retires. Was there tension with Tom Brady? Look, where there's smoke, there's fire usually. And I truly believe that there was tension with Tom. I think that is something that a lot of people have, a lot of reputable Bucks reporters have said that there was tension between Bruce and Brady and Tom. And I think that in order for all the all the talk of the 49ers, now the Dolphins, all of the talk around that needed to just be quieted by the owners, the Glazer family, giving in to Tom Brady. And look, I would give in to Tom any day of the week. Now into some NBA storylines. The Lakers Oh my god, thank god this season's over. Oh, listening to every Lakers podcast, I feel like we're all relieved that this is over. Like, I feel like all Lakers fans are not upset. They're just relieved it's over. Like, we don't have to watch this team disappoint us every night. And it feels good to be sort of with everyone in the same boat on that. Like, I don't understand the Laker fans that are like, oh my god, I wanted to see more of this team. No, I wanted to see less of it. I was ready to give up a while ago, like the entirety of the Lakers team did, apart from LeBron, but the rest of the team gave up, like, after the All-Star break. But yeah, the Lakers eliminated, thank god. Now, I'm going to make my prediction for MVP. I think it's Nikola Jokic. I just don't know. Like, I would love it to be Giannis, but I think it's Jokic. Giannis is going to get to the finals. And next week, when the playoffs really begin, I will go through my playoff predictions. I've got the play-in tournament stuff coming up. So, yeah. I'll be looking forward to hearing about that. By the way, my prediction was right that the Cavs would have a better record than the Lakers. I don't exactly know the exact games, but they did have a better record, and they actually got to the play-in tournament. The Suns. Are they going to win it all? Is it destiny finally for the Suns? They've won 63 games. They've had a season high of 63 wins. And honestly, they look like they're going to win it all. They're meshing, they're clicking. The chemistry seems to be all there, all right there. This may be the year for the Phoenix Suns. And as a Devin Booker fan, I am so happy for him. But as a Laker fan, I hate the Suns. The MLB is back. So I'll be giving you little Dodger news here and there. Probably some Yankee news here and there. But nothing too in-depth and in the weeds, because I'm still trying to learn the game a little bit more. Because it's so different to everything else that I've watched before. So football and basketball, like basketball we've got in Australia. Football is sort of like a little bit of rugby, but I can understand it a little bit more. But baseball, I'm starting to pick it up. Starting to. It may take me another year, but I'll get to picking it up. The Dodgers, they struggled with the first series. So yeah, I'll be looking to see how this season goes for the Dodgers. They've got an all-star lineup, but yeah, the Dodgers started well with a win out of the gate, but then they lost the series to the Rockies. So yeah, I'm a little bit worried about my Dodgers. Tiger Woods returns to the Masters. So that was a huge storyline. 14 months after he almost died, he returns to the Masters and he plays all 4 days, 72 holes of golf. He looked exhausted at the end of it. And look, he's probably going to be in a lot of pain at the moment, but he is committed to St. Andrews in July, so hopefully he gets there. This week in sports history, with the Masters that has just gone on last weekend, I thought that it would be a nice little thing. I thought it'd be a nice thing to go with more of like a golfing sort of thing. In 1916, the Professional Golfers Association of America, the PGA, is founded in New York City. That's so interesting to me. It's this week in sports history. Like, I read all of these fun and fantastic facts, and I'm just like, it's incredible just to see like all the facts that have come up in sports history. So let's get into some news. Dwayne Haskins unfortunately passes away at the age of 24 by getting hit by a dump truck. He was trying to cross the highway in Miami and got hit by a dump truck. This one sort of hurts because I wanted him as our quarterback back at the draft in 2019. He had a few red flags, but that just, it sucks. Anyone dying really young sucks. Rest in peace, Dwayne Haskins, and my thoughts and prayers are with the entirety of the Haskins family. So I'm just going to pick up the mood a little bit. I'm not going to try and wallow in it. Rob Gronkowski would like to return to the Bucks, or he's not returning to football at all. Look, I would love Rob Gronkowski to return to the Bucks because, look, I love Tom and Rob together. Tommy and Gronky. They're fun. They're a fun team. And they truly seem like best friends. Mock drafts are all coming out around now. I will be doing mine, and I'll post it on my IG, which I'll link in the description down below. So yeah, I'll be posting mine on IG. Just trying to figure out how I'm going to do it, which site I'm going to use. I'll probably do... Yeah, I'll find out which site I'm going to use, because they kind of make it look pretty. Frank Vogel has been fired from the Los Angeles Lakers. Not surprising. He was always going to be scapegoated, although he coached really well with the team that they put together for him. But yeah, it was not surprising at all. I'm not surprised in Frank Vogel getting fired. Matisse Thybulle of the 76ers is not allowed to play in Toronto due to vax mandates in Canada. So you can't actually enter Canada without being vaccinated. So Matisse Thybulle is not allowed to play due to those restrictions. Oh, I have no idea what that was. So yeah, it's Toronto for both the MLB and the NBA is going to have major home ground advantage coming off into the playoffs. So that leaves the 76ers a major defensive liability because Matisse Thybulle is like a defensive-minded, amazing player. Australian, and I love him. So, yeah. Doncic exits the Mavs' final regular season game with hamstring soreness. So hopefully that does not affect the Mavs in the playoffs. However, I would love it to affect the Mavs in the playoffs. Embiid wins a scoring title. And yeah, I still don't think he's MVP. But yeah, congratulations to Embiid for winning the scoring title. And as I said before, the Dodgers fall to the Rockies in their first series of the MLB. Scotty Scheffler wins the Masters at the age of 25. And if you saw a picture of Scotty Scheffler, you would be like, he is 105. He does not look 25. And I don't know whether it's just because I just had my birthday and I'm feeling very old. But I'm not liking the fact that all of these younger people look older. And I look at myself in the mirror and I'm like, I don't look that old. Seriously. Please. I don't. So the NBA play-in games. So in the West, we've got the 7-8 between the Minnesota Timberwolves and the LA Clippers. I've got Minnesota. So I think they're going to become the 7th seed and then play off against the 2nd seed, which I need to figure out the timing there. And then in the next game, I've got, so it's the New Orleans Pelicans versus the San Antonio Spurs. I've got the Pelicans. So then they will move on to play the Clippers, and I've got the Pelicans winning that. I don't know. There feels like there's something different about this Pelicans team. Without Zion, they've actually done better. So the 8th spot will be the Pelicans. And in the East, we've got the Brooklyn Nets versus the Cleveland Cavaliers. I've got Brooklyn going in there, and then they will face off against the Celtics, I think. Next week, I'll do a major breakdown. I might actually even put it out earlier. It just will depend on... Actually, Easter's coming up, so I get a long weekend. So, of course, I will be putting it up early. So I've got Brooklyn winning that, so they're going to go straight in and play in the for the 7th seed. They're going to be the 7th seed, and then in the Atlanta game versus Charlotte game, I've got Atlanta going in there, and then they will be playing Cleveland in the spot to get into the playoffs, and I have got Cleveland winning that. So that is all for this week's episode of Let's Talk Sports podcast. So I'll catch you all next week. Bye.